Welcome back to another Swordmaster Publications presentation. My name is Ernie Lawrence. Today we're going to be studying Joshua 16. It's a very short chapter, and it's another one of those where they describe the land of one of the tribes. In this case, it's actually Joseph, though, so we're going to be talking about two half-tribes here, and one of the largest of all of the land divisions that there is in the entire Promised Land. So thank goodness it's only a very short chapter. I know I've been gone for a while. I was attending some funerals back in Texas, but I'm back now, and hopefully we can get back to a regular schedule on these. So it says in Joshua chapter 16 and verse 1, "And the lot of the children of Joseph fell from Jordan by Jericho unto the water of Jericho on the east," that is the water of Jericho, it's talking about the Jordan River there, "to the wilderness that goes up from Jericho throughout Mount Bethel." And so here we have the Jordan River, here's Jericho, and here is where the verse that we just read goes by Mount Bethel here, going up along this particular edge. Okay, so and you can see here, this is Manasseh and Ephraim that we're talking about here. Manasseh already has this big section over here on the west side of the Jordan, but now we're describing this part here to the east that says Joseph, because it's going to include Ephraim and Manasseh. "And goeth out from Bethel to Luz, and passes along unto the borders of Archi to Adaroth, and goes down westward to the coast of Japhleti, unto the coast of Beth Horon, the nether, and to Gezer, and the goings out thereof are at the sea." And so you have this whole line here, and you can see Gezer here was mentioned, and it goes up to the sea, and then we're going to start describing some of these more northern borders here. So here we have the whole Joseph line along these particular markers on the map. All right. It says, "So the children of Joseph, Manasseh and Ephraim, took their inheritance. And the border of the children of Ephraim, according to their families, was thus. Even the border of their inheritance on the east side was Ashtaroth Adar, unto Beth Horon the upper." And so that's talking about going on the east side here. I'm sorry, that's the west side. On the east side here, going up along this particular line here. And then the border went out toward the sea to Mikmetha on the north side, and on the border went about eastward unto Tanath Shiloh, and passed by it to the east to Genoa. So out toward the sea on the north side is talking about going out this way, and so you have this kind of border toward the sea, but not a note that it doesn't make it all the way to the sea. And then eastward unto Shiloh, and past east to, and this is talking about coming back down and going back east this way. All right. And it went down from Genoa to Adaroth and to Narath, and came back to Jericho, and went out at Jordan. That's the final little bit here, that it comes back to this area around Jericho to finish up the borders of Ephraim. And the border went out from Tapua westward unto the river Kana, and the goings out thereof were at the sea. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Ephraim by their families. And so this whole little bit here, and I think there's a bit of a river here that gave them access to the sea, even though they don't have a border on the sea. "And the separate cities for the children of Ephraim were among the inheritance of the children of Manasseh, all the cities with their villages." And so what this is saying is, you have this huge swath of land that is given to Joseph's children, and then part of that, the cities that went to Ephraim, are considered part of the inheritance of Joseph. And so that's why it says among the inheritance of the children of Manasseh, all the cities with their villages. And then the very last verse, remember, we've already talked about how God has fulfilled the land promise. He has given them all the land, and they have took it, and now we're going back through, and we're kind of reviewing what all was done. But the Israelites made some choices. even though God gave them the entire land and fulfilled the promise in this time. Remember, the 2.5 tribes went home. After their campaign, they went home, and so God said they couldn't do that until they had completely done all that He said that they should do. So that part was completed, but they made those choices to leave some of the people, and this is where a lot of people will come in and say, well, they came in and they killed all of the babies and they killed all the pregnant women. They'll bring up all these emotional arguments about how vicious God required the Israelites to be to completely cleanse the land. And while God did say you need to drive them out, push them out of their land, He did not say you had to go in and slay all the non-combatants. He just said drive them out. And then here we see that they didn't do that part of it. They did not drive these people out. And we've seen this a number of times, and it comes back to bite them. Later on, we'll see it in the books of history. Particularly here, we're talking about Ephraim, and we're going to see what effect this has on Ephraim as we go through the books of history and the books of prophecy. It says, they drave not out the Canaanites that dwell in Gezer, but the Canaanites dwell among the Ephraimites unto this day, and serve under tribute. And so instead of driving them out as God had said, they chose to let these people remain. These are non-combatants. Remember, the combatants already went out and fought and lost and were all killed. These are the non-combatants that are left. Again, the women, the children, the old people, all those who did not fight are left. They chose to leave them and not drive them out, and it becomes a problem for them, a stumbling block down the road for not doing what God said. And even though, for the most part, we see that the children of Israel are faithful to God under Joshua, it's not a complete faithfulness. And we saw this under Moses as well. How many times did they do things under Moses that were not great, but they still were brought to the promised land, and they were still given the promised land? And so we see the same thing under Joshua. So that wraps up chapter 16. It's not a very long chapter at all. I'm glad that we were able to get back on track here with a short chapter, and able to move forward here in the next few chapters as we head towards completing Joshua. Thank you for joining me, and as always, if you have any comments, please leave those. If you like the videos that I'm doing here, please subscribe. Push that little bell for notifications so you'll know when I do more of these videos, and we will see you for Joshua chapter 17. My name is Ernie Lawrence, and this has been another Swordmaster Publications presentation.